We are on the verge of the most important monthly candle close for 2023. This current month, depending on how it closes, could signal the next phase of the bull market, that being the up-only phase. That is what we're going to get into in today's video. So if you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Be sure to hit that like button nice and early. Hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because in today's video, I'm going to show you a condition that needs to be met that historically has led to the parabolic phase of every bull market so far. We could be ending 2023 on a massively high note. And as always, I'm also going to take you through the other side, some things that we need to be careful of to not just fall for this trap and assume it's LFG time. Let's get into it. What you're looking at currently is the Bitcoin perpetual contract on Binance. This is not the chart that we're going to use. However, just to show you what's happening so far, we do have a higher low currently forming, but when we zoom out to a higher time frame, let's have a look at what's happened over the weekend so far. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we did have some attempted closes below the trend line of the ascending triangle, but so far, every attempt to push price down has still led to a wick that has closed back above the 200 EMA. As long as we're above the 200 EMA, we would remain bullish, and also 200 EMA bounces are pretty good buy zones, to be honest with you. Now, a monthly candle close above 42,200 is going to signal something very, very significant, but not on this chart. The chart that we need to watch is a very specific chart, and I am talking about the BLX chart, the Bitcoin Liquid Index, that takes us back to the beginning of Bitcoin's time, all the way back in 2010. And you can see here on this chart, what I've marked is the absolute bottoms of the bear market, the absolute tops of the bull market, and also the halving dates. Now, this isn't about the Bitcoin halving. This is about something very, very significant. And I'm going to show you the rule, and then I'm going to show you how this has happened every single time. So the essential rule is if you take a Fibonacci and you draw from the top of a bull market down to the bottom of the following bear market, once price reaches back at the 50% area after the bull market bottom is in and gets a full monthly candle close above that 50% line, it has always led to the next bull market, the parabolic rise. Let me take you back through history. So if we go back to 2011, we can see here the 50% area. Now, this is on log scale, so it may not look right on a screen, but it's on log for a reason. The 50% line in that cycle was at $16.95. And if we go across, we can see all of these candles close below. But once we got the monthly candle right here that closed fully above that $16.95, we went into the next phase of the bull market. Now let's go to the next cycle. Over here, the bottom was put in January 2015, and the 50% area from the top to the bottom was at about $665. We went right through this phase. These two candles here did not manage to close above. They got to it, but they didn't actually close above. We need a full-bodied candle close above the area. This was the candle here that did it, however, in October of 2016, and we can see after that candle, it was up only. Moving on to the next cycle, in 2018, we put in the bear market bottom, and again, we came up to the 50% area. Wicks only, they don't count. Wick only here as well, and it was this candle right here in October 2020 that had a full-bodied candle close above the 50% line, and then we were up only from there as well. So that is every cycle so far. Now let's have a look at what's going on right now. Price is currently almost exactly at the 50% line, which is sitting here. It's at around 42,200. Again, on this specific chart, the BLX chart. And we still have 16 hours to go as I'm filming this. So if price can push and close with a full-bodied candle above the 42,200 on this chart, if history repeats, it should be up only from there. Let's take a look at how the yearly candles are looking so far, considering we're just about to end a year. By the way, Happy New Year if you're watching this. I hope that 2024 brings all of your dreams and desires. And don't forget that today is an amazing day to manifest and set your vision for 2024. I've actually done a video last year, was in high demand, on how I set my rituals for the upcoming year. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will link it up somewhere above and you can check that out. But I do a whole ritual on what I'm letting go of from 2023, what doesn't serve me anymore, what I want moving forward, and I cover all areas of life. So I highly recommend you check that out. Now have a look at this yearly candle close. It is about to be, this is pretty amazing actually. It is about to be a railroad track formation off the 10 EMA. That's pretty insane. And that 42.2 kind of area, that'll do it. Now let's talk about the risk, because there is something happening in this cycle that is different to every other cycle before, and it could throw this theory completely out. And that, of course, is the entire Bitcoin ETF situation. Now we know that we're waiting for some answers in January sometime. So it could be that we do get our candle close for December, our monthly candle close above that area. We go all guns blazing, and then we get bad news on the ETF and it just drops everything right back down. Now, if that does happen, it's something we're going to have to deal with at the time. That's the way the markets work. You know, we can always use historical price action to project into the future and give us an idea of what we believe should happen moving forward. But what we can't control is significant fundamental news that may shift things. So we have to be aware of that and know that we're really not out of the woods until we understand or see what is happening as a result of these ETFs. That's risk number one. The risk number two that I see is the timing, of course. Today is Sunday, not to mention New Year's Eve, but it's also Sunday, and Sunday is usually the false move week beginning. Being New Year's Eve means that we're also on a public holiday, which means that we will not have a typical week that we would normally see. So we don't know when the false move might come. It may not even come at all, or it may have already come. So let's have a look at the charts and see what the weekend price action is doing so far. Let's go back to our perpetual chart. And there's a couple of things that we have to keep in mind. Number one is that today is Sunday. It is false move week beginning. And we have seen a bit of a sell-off earlier this week. End of year pullback is kind of normal. I don't find it too much to worry about, especially considering we're still holding the formation and we're still holding the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. But this pullback that we saw earlier this week is kind of normal, because fund managers that manage portfolios, they need to take some profit before the end of the year to look good to their clients. So it wasn't a dramatic sell-off, but some profit taking kind of makes sense. And like I said, as long as we're holding the formation on the 4-hour time frame, I'm not too worried. So we know where we are on the higher time frame to get an idea of the false move week beginning, which at the time that I'm filming this, it's way too early to tell what that might look like. And with tomorrow being a public holiday as well, we won't have a typical normal cycle. So I'm just going to give you some ideas of what we can potentially look for, but something completely different could possibly happen. Just remember, the most important thing about today is not trying to catch the false move week beginning. The most important thing about today is getting that close on the BLX chart above 42,200. So let's go down to the 1-hour time frame, and we really just want to see if we are getting a weekend trap that we can identify so far. There potentially was, because on a smaller time frame there were some candle closes below the trend line of the ascending triangle. So a lot of people may have thought that we're breaking and gone short, and they may already be trapped in some of this price action down here because we haven't returned to it yet. So on the 15-minute time frame, we want to draw out our weekend trap box, which starts on Friday at the end of US, and you want to draw where the candles kind of mostly closed, below price to above price. And that becomes your weekend trap. So like I said, it's too early to be doing this process now. You want to wait closer to the dead gap zone. But to explain the process, you're basically having a look within that trapped area where price hasn't returned to, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. So we've got this wick down here that price has not returned to. We've also got these candles down here that price has not returned to. We don't really have too many false moves above the box. So false moves below the box, trap shorts, false moves above the box trap longs. And so whoever ends up trapped, we usually go the other way. So to me at this point in time, it does look like the shorts are currently trapped, but the false move week beginning can end up looking like a move that gives a stop hunt to the upside like this, because that will liquidate these people here, and then it actually goes the right way. So it's not necessarily, okay, shorts are trapped, we're going up. There's still more that we have to look for. But for me personally, I'm not looking to leverage trade Bitcoin or anything really right now. It is New Year's Eve. You know, it's time to celebrate. Anything could happen. So problem number one that we have about that 42,200 close is that we could get a false move to the upside that liquidates these shorts right here before we move to the downside before the monthly candle closes. And if that happens and we get that move down that drops us under the 42,200, then it's a whole other month we have to wait to see if we get the January candle close above. Now, having a look back at this, we can see that there were definitely periods of time where it tried to close above for a few months. This is 3 monthly candles here where it attempted, moved away again, actually came back quite a bit before it attempted it again for another 3 months. Then it eventually broke through. So it's not an assumption that if we get there, we're definitely going to close above. We could be in this period of time actually where we end up getting this deep pullback. Now, I think this one was COVID, but still this absolutely could repeat. So we're not jumping ahead. We're waiting to see what the actual candle close does, what the price actually closes at before we make any moves. So for that reason, I'm personally not trying to trade the weekend trap for this one. I really just want to see that monthly close. And, you know, if it's positive, I may invest in some more altcoins and things for the long term, but I'm going to leave the leverage trading alone until we have some more decent volume and we're back to typical trading weeks where the public holidays don't throw things off. So keep an eye on that monthly closing candle. Remember, it is the BLX chart, a full-bodied candle close well and truly above the 42,200 is going to be great for Bitcoin, and then the flow on of that is probably the rest of the crypto market as well. Don't jump ahead because of the timing being false move week beginning, public holidays, lower volume means that false moves can definitely be rather dramatic. But I would say once we're clear of this, maybe the 2nd to the 4th of Jan, we should be able to get back to normal short-term trading. In the meantime, it's an amazing time to have a look at things that you want to invest in for the long term and see if they've hit your ideal buy zones. You can, of course, purchase those cryptocurrencies that you're interested in using any of the links down below. There's a number of exchanges there for you to choose from depending on where you're located, and they also get you access to our Discord. All the instructions on how to do that is down below. Guys, have an amazing New Year's Eve. Make sure you do your manifestations. Make sure you plan your year ahead. Give yourself the best possible head start. Put yourself in a positive frame of mind. Tell yourself you're going to absolutely kick massive goals in 2024. It is 2024. It is an 8 year. It is a lucky year, an abundant year. Anyone can have anything they want. All you have to do is plan for it, believe in yourself, and back yourself. Have an amazing new year, and I'll see you in 2024.